Good job, you guys. Much closer this time. Your sails are just over trimmed right now. That's okay. These guys are coming around now. They're going to be ahead of Bella. They're way upwind. Okay, so what I'd look at is there was the gates. Look at the left flags. This is definitely, these guys rounded the wrong gate buoy. You have to look at the gates as a start line. So as you're going downwind, like I would have watched Anton, it was obvious to these guys. These guys had no problem. They knew that end was way better, and they've definitely gained. And again, these guys are big, so you're going to see that it looks like their jibs just lined up with the spreader. And their jibs breaking evenly, I think. We're going to have to look at that. And you're just going to see these guys sail with a much more close leash because that's the time you do it. Flat water at 6 to 9 knots. So at 3 minutes, you sit by the committee boat and you check your line sight. Okay, so my line sight is that just to the right of that white boat, that light pole. So right now I'm right on the line, right there. The laser's blocking my line sight. Oops, I'm over by a little. Right there is the line. So I'm gonna sit here at 1.5 minutes, okay? And I'm gonna sit like this. See how the light pole there? I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about there, but there's that. Yeah, you can see, oh, the current is pushing me. The current is going right to left just a little. I'm gonna go back up to line. Watch the light pole up there. Okay, right here is the line. I'm almost over right here. I wish that laser wasn't there. So I'm not even set up yet, but do you see? God, I wish that laser wasn't there, dang. But you can see the light pole up over the coach's head. Okay, see how it's below the pin? Then I'm gonna go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bam. See? So that's how we use a light pole. I'll do it again later. We practice that by ourselves over and over and over again. Using a line sight. Line sights work especially good to help us know when the line's been changed by the race committee, but also it helps us after general recalls in a big fleet. Obviously a 6-boat fleet is not going to matter at all. But in a 30 or 40 boat fleet or bigger, line sights are huge after general recalls because people stay back more. Especially if the Z flag's in effect, you have to have line sights. Okay, here we go, race 3. We changed Jet and Stella. We changed their Traveler. They weren't able to close their leech off quite enough, so we changed their Traveler. Again, after every 2 races, we make big changes if we're not placing where we want, and we're making big changes with Preston and Bella. I mean, this is 240 pounds and a good 10, 11 knots. They are doing outstanding. I'm not making big changes to them. I just depowered them a little. Looks like the boat's still favored. With Samantha and Alice, we're trying to close their leech like the boys a little more. So I had them tighten their Traveler a little. I had them not ease their main as much in the puffs. I want them to ease their main half as much as they're easing. And that way Sammy might actually hike a little instead of... A lot of people think easing the main works to get flow, but we don't need flow in this wind on the main. It's easy to sail in this wind. We'll see how the girls do. These guys push the line so good. The Nine Heights boys have their jib higher pretty loose. That's good. Just on the edge of being too loose. Because they're, yeah. So we're trying something on these girls. I think their jib was luffing at the top first in the first couple races, so I'm having them trim their jib a ½ inch tighter. Bella should get out of here. Again, with these guys, we're trying to close the leech off. That is a really good tack for a team that just started sailing the boat 4 weeks ago. And really no whiteboard talks at all. We just went out and sailed. Their jib's too open. It's almost windy enough for that setting now, though. So it is a 12 knot puff right here. And another goal was for Stella to hike harder when Jet started to ease the main out. If she noticed him easing the main out, just lean out harder and make it so he doesn't let the main out. It's like a competition. You're watching each other. If she starts to sit in, he's got to have the main on. If she notices the main going out, she needs to hike harder. So these are things we're noticing about each other. Now, I may have screwed up Sammy and Alice because it's windier now. These are different conditions. I think they were set up perfectly for these conditions before I talked to them. But we'll see. So I think they have a little less twist before. I think they could almost use the bottom of the main fuller. So this is 2 knots windier than it was in the last couple of races. I think their sails look better now, maybe outhaul out a little, but it is breezier, which that would increase drag maybe. Still looks like in the light spots they're underpowered, so I would be outhaul eased a little. The bottom of their main just looks a little flat, considering she's not full tilt. Bella and Preston, first 29er regatta of their life. Jet and Stella, first 29er regatta of their life. They overstood the gates a little. Race 4. Lefty. Those guys did the crew dunk there because the wind went a little left, so you might as well tap. That wasn't necessarily their fault. They didn't really. The other guys got a much better lane. Bella sailed swimmingly through that. She saw that happening in front of her, and she just flew the boat right along. Okay, Preston and Bella could go a little more vang, less outhaul, but otherwise these guys look really good. Guys had a malfunction in race 3 on the boat. These boats we're using on tier 2 are still getting worked up. These boats are different than other boats, you know, other FJ 420 type boats, because there's a lot more intricate systems on these, and everything has to function properly. So the boat has to get worked up, you know, 2 weeks before nude, which is right now. So we got 1 week, and we need to that was not a bad tack, actually, a little oversteer. We need, in 1 week, we got to have these boats completely ready. Now look at the leech twist, and she could be hiking if they could close that off just a little bit more. Just a little, it's not much. But again, I'm going to film the other boats, and you're going to see how he's bending his knees. He's got to pump the main in right there. He's actually got to pump it. But they're happy right now. They're actually in the race. They're right behind the team that's won every race. And this is good. We're going to get to the other side of these guys. I would keep going a ways. You want to get in a 29er right now, you're in second. You should get way away. See, they're going to tack right away, and that's not a good idea. You don't want to tack to windward unless you're overstanding the mark. I mean, you literally right there would have just gone 6 more boat lengths before you attack. Now, having said that, you have more wind than this guy. So, but you want a big lane in these boats. And in hindsight, I think you did exactly the right thing. You just don't want to have a champion on your lure. You look at him, it's going to make you get distracted. I would have gone further out in this south wind. When the left has been so dominant, I would see you've already dropped down into it. So I would have just given yourself a little more space. I'm gonna say I think your jib looks exactly the same as the 9 eyes, boys. And your main just has more twist than them. And you are heeling a little, but I don't care. You don't need to go perfectly flat. But the main is definitely twisted. You're going 1 degree too low. You need to pull the main, go 1 degree higher here. You were just going too far below the first place boat. You're going downwind right now. You got to gain height. Yeah, see, in the light spots bearing away because you're looking for power. You've actually got to gain height. I haven't taught you that yet. Look how much higher these boats are going. See if their spinnaker works better. Yeah, it is. It's good to sail with an old spinnaker at first, because then you learn how to get that sucker up and fight for it. And then you put a new spinnaker up and you're just in love with the new one. It's good to sail with old spinnakers once in a while, especially in practice. When they get wet, they're just a soggy mess to get out of the bag. Okay, very good. So you see how the spinnaker went up there like that? What that meant is between races, you guys could have just needed to ease the main just a touch there. It's okay to heel the lure. The boat has lee helm, so it's not like you're dragging the rudder. Could be flatter, but that's cool. If the spinnaker comes out twisted, like, just means that we probably should have done the proper drop, where you get the spinnaker backwinded against the jib on port tack and after the race, and pull it down into the bag all straight and nice. Anywho, great job, you guys, ripping it. Let's hope the wind gets stronger over there and you guys pass some people. When you ease the kite, you just launch.